Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. It's game day. We have a 4:30 start, Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully we get this win on Thanksgiving because it's going to make Turkey Day even more better. We've lost the last couple of Thanksgivings, which, you know, at first it didn't matter to me because I was with family, but this year, for some reason, I feel like we got to win this game because we have an opportunity to get in first place in the division and basically tie the record with the Redskins, but we'll get the first place victory over them because of the division wins. You got to win your division games, period. You want to win your division, you got to win your division games, period. It's going to be a battle between two dynamic running backs, Adrian Peterson and Ezekiel Elliott, and it's definitely going to be a crucial game. Now, I'm going to get into it a little bit, but I know some people are hating on Colt McCoy, but don't underestimate him. Remember, he beat us in 2014. Now, granted, our defensive line is much better than it was back then. We can apply more pressure than what we could have back in 2014, but I will say that it's not the same game. But again, you still have to be mindful of Colt McCoy because he knows the Cowboys. He's been a backup for the Redskins for a long time, so he knows the Cowboys. He knows how we play. I know the teams have changed, but you know, I know some people say that, hey, Colt McCoy is not a good quarterback because he's been a backup for years. But you look at it like this: when he first got with the team, you had RG3 there. They had Kirk Cousins, which came out in the same draft. They gave away 2 first-round picks for 2 separate years straight to get RG3 to move up that far to get him. And then I think in the 4th round or the 5th round, one of the later rounds, they went and got Kirk Cousins as well. And people was like, "Oh, you guys got 2 quarterbacks in the draft." So again, Colt McCoy had no chance to start over these guys because mostly because of skill, but more so of the draft potency. You know, if somebody drafted higher than you, obviously they're going to get the first chance to be ahead of you. Perfect example of that: the Cowboys started Connor Williams knowing that CeeLo Philo, the veteran, was actually better than him starting off. But you're going to give your 2nd round pick the go, the nod. That's because, you know, of preference. So with that being said, y'all, let's get into the meat of this. Coming into this game, the Cowboys are 5-5, Redskins are 6-4. We got to get above 500 to win this game, period. Because if you don't win this game, you got the Saints next week, and you want to be able to be ahead. So just in case you drop back to 500, you're still good. Either way, they're both NFC teams, and you got to get the win some kind of way. Now the Saints are going to be hard, but I'll talk about that. We gotta take care of the Redskins first. So right now, Dallas Cowboys are 27th of offense. The Redskins are 25th. So both offenses have been up and down, kind of struggling. The Redskins had a lot of injuries with their wide receivers and things of that nature. That's the cause of their fall. But, you know, Alex Smith being the starter, I think he has, 10, 11 touchdowns already this season. So, you know, you just look at it like Colt McCoy coming in is just another notch in the belt. Cowboys are 8th in defense, and the Redskins dropped down to 15th. Now, our defensive line has been playing very stout. We've been getting pressure on these quarterbacks. And Leighton Vander Esch has an interception 2 weeks in a row. So things are looking good for the defense. But in order for our defense to function properly, our offense has to keep the time of possession on our side. We have to get down on these drives, and we have to make sure that we score touchdowns and not always get down there and be kicking field goals or 3 and outs. We don't need that. Cowboys are 28th in passing. Redskins are 25th. So we're all in the same category when it comes to our offensive play. So it's definitely going to be a defensive matchup because both of our defensive lines are great. You know, they got those Alabama boys over there on their line with the Redskins and things like that. So, you know, they can get the Dak. So, but I'll get into those keys in a minute. Cowboys are 4th in rushing. The Redskins are 13th. Now, with Ezekiel Elliott on this roster, and using him in different ways than just a traditional. Again, depends on what defenses are going for him. The Redskins shut down Ezekiel Elliott pretty much the last time we played. He only had 33 yards rushing. You can't have that. We have to find a way to counteract that and be able to do things to fool the defense and trick them into. We had to create lanes, basically. So there's some blaring differences between that game and this one. And again, I'll get into that soon. Dak Prescott for the season, he is 64% completion rating, 2,139 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Again, Alex Smith is out, but he has, I believe 10 touchdowns himself. Colt McCoy is coming in. We'll see what he can do. Hopefully he does do much against us because we don't need a part 2 of 2014. Ezekiel Elliott rushing, 191 attempts, 953 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Dak Prescott. Now, it's key to get Dak Prescott using his mobility because right now he's 52 attempts, 261 yards, and he has 4 touchdowns rushing himself. So with the threat of both Zeke and Dak, we have to do that more. We have to utilize Dak's strengths and get him moving around. He's a young guy. It's not like how Romo was when Romo was here, where you don't want him to get outside the pocket. You kind of want Dak to move around because it leaves lanes open to get receivers open, and the defense is not knowing what you're doing. And you want to be able to keep their defense on their heels. That way, you can do some things to get your offense churning. Because getting these third down completions is going to be huge in this game. Adrian Peterson has 171 attempts, 723 yards, and he has 6 touchdowns himself. Now, like I said in earlier videos, you know, Adrian Peterson, the same age as me. This dude found the youth serum. I mean, if you look at his numbers coming into the league and Ezekiel Elliott's numbers coming into the league, they're pretty much similar. They're very similar players when it comes to running styles, durability, all that. Adrian Peterson, you're going to have to shut him down because there's a statistic out there somewhere that basically whenever he scores either 90, 95 or more yards rushing, the Redskins normally win. So you got to shut him down. You got to keep him out of that 90, 100-yard rushing lane because if he's having that type of game, most likely the Redskins are beating you. Now, they don't have a lot of firepower on offense right now as far as their receivers because they have a lot of injuries. But, again, Adrian Peterson is their key player. Chris Thompson is injured with ribs. And, you know, that's their key player in offense right now. That's the guy that you have to shut down, period. I think Samaje Perine is supposed to be still playing. So, you know, he's a little shifty guy, too. He's up and down. Some games he can go on a tear, and other games you're like, where did he go? But again, the Redskins are similar to the Cowboys when it comes to that, very up and down. The whole NFC East is up and down, so put it that way if you want to go that route. So Cole Beasley, 45 receptions, 454 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 36 receptions, 449 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, we got to get Amari Cooper into the end zone. We got to get him some space. We got to get him outside. We got to use that threat that we have with him because, again, he wasn't just on this team just to be a decoy or somebody to just now he is there to help open up lanes for other players, yes, but it works hand in hand. Zeke opens it up for him, he opens it up for Zeke, he opens it up for Cole Beasley opens it up for Amari Cooper. So it's a cycle effect, and the way that it works is with the threat of now a number 1 receiver, you have the ability to get he garnishes attention, so he gets those looks by okay, we got to double team him, we got to watch him because he can go deep on us at any time and score a touchdown. And I say that Dak needs to come in this game and do throw the ball deep to him because their secondary is not the greatest, and we've definitely been able to do things over their secondary. Even though they got Clinton Dix, they're still not the dynamic secondary that they once were. But their biggest strength on defense, just like ours, and you can say the same thing about our team, is the defensive line. Like, I feel like our defenses are a mirror image of each other. Both of our defensive lines are stout. Our secondary is maybe a little better than theirs because we do have Byron Jones out there, which is rated by Pro Football Focus as the best corner in the league because people aren't really scoring on him, and he's out there on the island, and he's doing this thing. Which, back at his regular position that he's happy at, I'm good that he's there. But one guy that they have on their offense has always been a Cowboy killer is Jordan Reed. Well, Jordan Reed had that Sean Lee effect sometimes where, like, he would be good when he plays, but then he would get injured a lot. And it's like, damn, like, we want to keep this guy on the team because he's dynamic, but when he's playing, but then when he's injured, it's like, what can you do for us? And it happens very often. Now, for this year, Jordan Reed has been pretty much healthy, and he's been a Cowboy killer ever since he's been in the league in that tight end position. He's been the Cowboys' kryptonite. Now, he has 44 receptions, 462 yards, but he only has 2 touchdowns. But, again, he's still making yardage, he's still making catches, and those chunk plays are huge. And when Redskins are looking for those chunk plays, they're definitely going for Jordan Reed because they know what he can do, and they know how he can beat the Cowboys defense. But now that we have better linebackers, we should be able to contain him more better than we have in the past. And as far as Colt McCoy starting for them, he's actually 7 for 18 in his career as a starter. So when he has opportunities, a lot of times he takes a full advantage of it. And again, Cowboy fans, please do not underestimate Colt McCoy because, again, yes, he's the backup, but he can still play too. So we have to still worry about him. You cannot go in this game thinking it is going to be easy because, again, it'll be a trap game. And it's in a division game. No matter how bad the teams are, division game, the Redskins always play us differently than they do any other team in the league. We know that. And living here in the Washington, D.C. area, seeing it all the time with the Redskin fans and all the talking that they do from week to week whenever they play us, and it's just like, even when they lose and we beat them, they're still doing this, and I'm like, oh, here we go. But I hate it when they win because I got to hear it on the radio all week long. But that's neither here nor there. As far as the injury report, a positive with the Cowboys. Well, unfortunately, David Irvin is still out. We know that Tavon Austin is out. Sean Lee is, of course, out. Jeff Swain broke his wrist, so he's probably going to be out for another month. They might as well just put him on IR because I don't think he's coming back unless we go to the playoffs. And then I didn't know this one, but Adam Redmond is also out too, the backup guard. He had a concussion, so your backups can't be hurt because they possibly can be needed in a game, especially with an offensive lineman. But hopefully he gets that together. Questionable guys, and I'm pretty sure that all of these questionable guys are going to play. Because they actually had limited time in practice, so I think that they're going to actually be good to go. And they're probably going to limit their snaps too, kind of just rotate them around. Taco Charlton, Malik Collins, Zach Martin, Connor Williams, and Antoine Woods. And I think they're all going to play, with the exception of Connor Williams, because I think that they're going to start CeeLo Philo over him. And Connor Williams would just be, I guess, be his backup if something happens. Lord forbid that. But yeah. Daniel Ross and Antoine Woods are going to be in this game, and they're going to be playing. And that human log, Antoine Woods, is huge for us. And Daniel Ross is an upcoming player. He's been doing pretty good, so I'm happy and seeing the things that they're doing, and that gives us depth back on our defensive tackle position, definitely with Antoine Woods back in the game. So I'm excited that he's going to play. That definitely gives us a chance to get pressure on Colt McCoy and get him down for the sacks, because sacks are going to be key in this game. Sacks, got to get turnovers, yo. As far as the Redskins go, we know Alex Smith is out for the year. Broke his fibula and tibula, and in the most Joe Theismann-esque way, unfortunate for him, you know. Prayers go out to Alex Smith. You know, I don't wish injury on any player, no matter, even though it's the enemy. You know, I just hope that, you know, he gets better from that. Chris Thompson, he's, like I said, he's still out. I think he still has a whole rib deal, but they don't have many many injuries. They have a lot of questionable guys, and I'm pretty sure those guys are going to play because they're already shorthanded when it comes to the people that are already injured on their roster, so, and people that are already out for the season. So, I would say keys to victory. All right, so I mentioned some of them already. Dallas Cowboys have to come into this game with aggression. If we defer the ball, which I think we've won every game this year that we deferred the ball. Is there something to that? Again, defer the ball again if you can. If you win that toss, defer the ball. Get your defense out there. Get them on the 3 and out. Get your team pumping. Get them reeling. Set the tone. Set the tempo. Too many times Cowboys let the other team dictate what they do. You cannot do that. You got to play to win, y'all. Play to freaking win. Get out there. Misdirections. Screen passes. Wheel routes. RPO. RPO. And I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me saying it, but that run pass option is Dak Prescott's bread and butter. Because you don't know whether he going to run the ball, Zeke going to run the ball. They got to do more than that. They have to do more. Because too many times in the game, they slip away from that and they go back to the traditional bullshit. Stop it. Linehan, I swear to God, you better go out here and call a better game. Better play calling. Better player execution. Dak Prescott cannot fumble the ball. He cannot turn over the ball. He cannot. He has to step up in the pocket and get these receivers going. You got to get Amari Cooper going. You got to get Cole Beasley going. Those are your two bread and butter guys on offense right now until Tavon Austin comes back. And you have to utilize them. You have to get them out there in open space and get some yak. Get some damn yak. Also, defense. I said this before. Get pressure on Colt McCoy. Linebackers flying around doing their thing. Stop Jordan Reed. Stop Adrian Peterson. Or contain, I should say. You're not going to stop them. But contain Jordan Reed. Contain Adrian Peterson. You win the game. They're thinking the same thing. The Redskins right now are looking at the Cowboys and they're like, okay. They're looking at the Cowboys and they're saying, hey, we're going to stop Ezekiel Elliott. We want Dak Prescott to beat us. Dak Prescott has to beat us. And again, whenever they say that, what did the Giants do? They say, oh, we need Dak to beat us. Y'all better watch saying that because Dak Prescott, one thing that I can say that I do love about Dak Prescott, that he's a smart guy. He doesn't let too many things worry him. He never throws his team under the bus. He takes all those hits. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about in the locker room. I'm talking about in the press conferences. He never throws any of his teammates under the bus. Now, that's a stand-up guy right there. And I can't do nothing but get behind that and support that. Because you look at Dak and you know, a lot of you guys say he sucks and this and that. Around the league, they're making fun of him. And I'm just like, okay, he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, which is one of the most scrutinized teams in the league. So with that being said, Dak has to have tough skin, and he does. And a lot of it was, you know, rest in peace to his mom. But when his mom was living, his mom taught him those core values. She taught him how to be a guy to be poised, a guy to be tough, a guy to never give up and keep fighting. And that's what he did his whole life, his whole career. And a lot of it has worked for him. And I look at it like this. I'm not one to give up on Dak Prescott right now because, again, I know his potential. I know what he can do. And again, I feel like if we had a better coaching staff up front on that offense, I feel like he would be better. And, again, it's just minor mechanics with him. And when I see him play, it's the same thing. But it's like they're just letting him do him. They're not telling him, hey, you probably should do it this way instead of doing it that way. But again, these are things that you tweak in the offseason, not during the year, because you can't change that much mechanics in a year. You know, you could watch your own tape and you could be like, okay, I got to get better with my footing. I got to step up. But if he steps up more in that pocket, I guarantee you he'll have the tenacity to throw that ball deep. So that's pretty much all I got, y'all. Everybody enjoy y'all Thanksgiving because I know I will. This is the time to give thanks. Oh, yeah, real quick, too. Michael Gallup. So I talked about him in the last video about, you know, his brother committing suicide and, you know, how sad that situation is. And, you know, prayers go up for his family. Him and his family started a charity for the brother's death, African Kids Foundation. So that's a good thing that they're doing. Michael Gallup said, you know what? Look, I'm mourning over my brother, but I want to be with my teammate. I want to be with my extended family, my Dallas Cowboys family. So what did Michael Gallup do? He came back to the team and said, hey, coach, I want to practice. I want to be in these team meetings, and I want to play on Thursday for Thanksgiving because giving back is a thanks for being on this team. And I want to show you guys my loyalty to this team. And I can't do nothing but respect that. Now, he easily could have been like, you know what? I'm going to take this week off. Me as a player, I probably would have done that. I would have been like, you know what? I need to be with family right now. But, hey, I guess some players deal with things differently. I guess he looks at it like this. I need to play. I need to get this whole situation off my mind. I need to get out there and play with a renewed spirit and have something to fight for. And I can't do nothing but respect that. That is, I mean, I respect the young boy for that. You know, 3rd round pick. He's going to be a player. He is definitely going to be a player in these next coming years. But shout out to Michael Gallup for that. I got to give him a Jason Garrett clap for that. Not really Jason Garrett, but you know. With that being said, y'all, thanks again to all my subscribers. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving because I know I will. It'll be even better if the Cowboys get this win because we need this to get in the head of the division and make it to the playoffs because next week is the Saints. And it's going to be a tough one. But at least it's at home. So with that being said, yo, it's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Y'all have a great Thanksgiving.